The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that, we typically do end, but it's not entirely our fault. There are certain things called time constraints. Yeah, welcome back to another episode of Soccer to the Max. I, myself, am here as usual, the squid in all of his glory, Erik Watkins. And alongside me, the equally awesome, equally wonderful, at the McKriger herself, Rachel McKriger. How are you?
Wonderful. Great. Happy to be here. And I love squids. And I also love whales.
Whales do have their finer moments. I'm not gonna lie.
I just bought my niece or nephew, who is due in June, a bib with a whale on it, and I want to keep it, even though I know I can't use it.
Well, just think of it like this. Just get another one and say that the first one was just the wrong color.
True. Problem solved.
See, I like to solve problems like that. I tend to be the fixer. What can I say? I have an knack. Behind the board is our lovely producer, Sean, but unfortunately, he's a teeny bit under the weather, so I told him, take a little NyQuil, relax, you just work your magic, we got it from here. So, week 3, MLS. My heart broken yet again, thanks to DC United. There's, lack of coordinating runs, lack of discipline, giving up penalties. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I had modest hopes for this team coming into this season, but it looks like something has just fallen apart. Rachel, can you help me explain this at least a little bit? Because I'm confused.
Maybe they're distracted by their cool new uniforms that they don't play all that well anymore. And honestly, not starting Lamar Neagle and having him subbed in the 75th minute, and also subbing in Sebastian Letu, those guys should be starting.
Yeah, I don't understand that, because outside of Hamid, the only two bright spots I see out of the starting 11 are Nyarko and Kemp. And that only will take you so far. Very few opportunities even for them. And when you have guys getting into the box, normally it could easily create one-on-one situations, but a lot more often it's like 1-on-3. And it's like, someone has to make some sort of run behind, get some coordination, and it's like, ugh. And then when you have defense, great, but when you're throwing your weight around and making silly tackles,
Oy vey.
Yeah, but the one benefit, Columbus, off the schneid, which I guess in this case is a good thing. And we've seen a couple of others, Toronto FC, which, let me just say, I looked at the 3-5-2 formation and was skeptical, but somehow it worked. I like that, and it's like, if they can do it, maybe the U.S. should try to work something like that.
Maybe.
Because, it took a little while for them to get going against Vancouver, which... Alright, I don't want to say anything too much about referees, but Rex Shea, Rachel, I know off air we were talking about this.
Oh, man.
I even had to explain with my mom because she was looking at what's going on. I was like, well, the referees, they have this little technical rule called dissent. If you say something or you show up the referee or you pop off at the mouth, they will give you a red card. I've seen it happen before. And it's like, why? How? What even is going through your head at that point?
Why would you even? And it was even more stupid because he contested it and was running his mouth about his first yellow card, which he clearly deserved.
Mm-hmm.
And just you know what you did is wrong. Just walk away. You don't gotta say anything. But no, Brek Shea, he had a tendency to do this down in Orlando too. He just ran.
Remind me.
That's why he wasn't a favorite on Jurgen Klinsmann's list either.
Well, I can clearly see why right call in that case. And what's funny, because in seeing the red cards that were doled out, I looked at the formations that the team used. Vancouver had a 4-2-3-1. Very good at really holding Toronto, especially not even so much in the final third, but not creating a lot of chances in their defensive half while Toronto was on the attack. Shea's gone. Now you're in something like a 3-2-3-1 or of that sort. Lanes just opened up everywhere. So it's like, what are you really doing knowing that you were set up for a good classical defensively tactical match, and then all of a sudden stupidity reigns? It's inexcusable.
Yeah, it's run your mouth and you won't get a red card. Simple as that, as Chance the Rapper likes to say.
Well, kind of going off of that to another team, same formation, similar incident, although more questionable circumstances. Real Salt Lake, 2-1 loss to the Galaxy, their first win of the season. Now, what happened to Brek Shea made so much sense. He got what he deserved, but looking at that match and the referee with the cards and with Beckerman, I was like, this is why the players hate you. Did you think that was necessary, or am I just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
I mean, Cocoa Puffs are really good, but
True.
You're definitely not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Poor Kyle. And Kyle Beckerman, if you ever listen to this, you deserve better than this. And I'm sorry, and you have every right to hate the referees. Poor Kyle. He deserved better than that.
Yeah, I mean, what was...
He's such a veteran player, too.
Mm-hmm. And his veteran player is skilled. The tackle was like, I mean, maybe a foul, but nothing really beyond that. And I'm not just saying that because he is an official member of the Brotherhood of Epic Hair. But then for the referee to look at him, he was just standing there, really minding his own business for a lot of it. I didn't see him say anything. And then I see the referee reach his pocket, and it's like, wait, what's going on? And then, same thing, that kind of unraveled. LA Galaxy, they went on, took advantage of the opportunity, wound up winning the game, and it's like, come on. Come on. But I guess maybe if I went to school and became a ref, I would have a more official something to say about that. But on to some more better news. Minnesota, arguably best performance and best result of their now 3-match MLS history. 2-2 with Colorado, and More first time that they've scored more than one in a match, and first time that they've allowed less than 5. Ooh. Is this finally a sign? Has something clicked? Or was this more Colorado not really showing up like the other teams have?
I definitely think it's Colorado not showing up because they haven't really showed up all season. And maybe they're still trying to get used to Timmy Howard being back in goal. And maybe they're getting used to the new people leading the attack. I don't know what it is, but they're just not clicking. And this definitely isn't a sign because, I mean, if you're playing 2 expansion teams against each other and one expansion team completely blows the other out, that there was the sign of things to come.
Well, and I kind of want to touch on that a little bit, especially with, and I still say he did a decent job, save for the very end of Orlando City, Adrian Heath. I mean, is there starting to brew a sense of panic? Because there's still a lot of disorganization on the pitch with this United outfit. Needless to say, they look good in their away kits, but that doesn't transition into playing any better.
Yeah, I mean, Heath definitely brought a lot of really good things to Orlando City, and he took one of those good things with him, and Lauren, but like, I think he's like Siggy Schmid. They're just 2 very inconsistent coaches. And his little repertoire he's making in Minnesota is not helping him out at all.
Well, do you think he'll even last the season at this point?
At Minnesota?
Yeah. Because I mean, I get not all expansion teams were like Orlando, competing for the playoffs up until the last couple weeks of the season. God knows they're not like Atlanta, which we'll get to in a second, house on fire. But, I mean, at some point you would want to see some sort of improvement. And while technically there was, yes, one of those goals was on a penalty, but it's like, are the Minnesotans really as patient as I portray them out to be, or will something click for them too? I hope they are patient, but
I think they have to. I think they have to be patient. It's their expansion season. I think you have to be a little bit patient.
All right. Well, we will see. We will see. Now, with expansion teams, Atlanta, I mean, first of all, I could have sworn there was a mix-up with Chicago. I thought for a good little while that the referee sent off the wrong man for, again, debatable red card. You could say goal-scoring opportunity, what have you, but thankfully the ref got that right. But aside from that, 6-1, now 4-0. What is in the water for Atlanta United? What's working?
Good recruiting.
I mean, Almiron, check. Who is it? Martinez, that's, 5 goals in 3 matches?
Martinez.
Oh my God. It's like, I'm hearing everybody saying it was like, oh, well, possible player of the year race heating up. And I'm thinking, yeah, you're a 10th of the way into the season. Slow down. But looking at him, it's like, maybe? I mean, part of me is wondering, now that you go deeper into the season, can they keep this up?
I think they can. I mean, it's all just about consistency, and they're doing a very consistent job finding the net. They haven't really had I guess what you would call very easy opponents. I mean, I think they're doing a really good job.
Well, I mean, we'll see, because I find that when they get not even really into the box, but when they get close, one tactic, and I hope other defenses figure this out, they love playing wide. However wide the pitch is, especially at Bobby Dodd, which is pretty spacious from the looks of things, they will use every inch they can, and it's like, how are you really going to stretch your defense out to keep up with that? And then near centimeter perfect passing, it's just, ugh. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should be as high on them as I thought. But anyways, while things are going good with them, you got some teams off to some partially surprising hot starts. Orlando, thank you, Kyle Laren. Portland, Adi. SKC, FC Dallas. They get all of them to get major results, staying unbeaten on the season. And I especially want to focus, putting on my Homer hat here, Orlando City. I mean, I wasn't entirely against their new stadium. I like the location, I like the feel, but is that helping provide some good home cooking? Because, my God.
That's why I was upset to see that their game last week against the Revolution got canceled, because I wanted to see how they were going to do away. I think you can really get a feel for Orlando when we see them away.
Well, very true, and honestly, as upset as I was, and I was worried as I was with the Kaká injury, Kyle Laren stays healthy, we'll be just fine. So that's why I'll keep doing that as long as I have to, because needless to say, the strategy is like, okay, you get open, everyone get the ball to him, we're gonna win. Simple as that. But out of those four, and especially out of the other three, which one of those are really surprising you the most, if any?
Sporting Kansas City.
Okay. Any particular reasons why? Because
I don't know. When I think of undefeated teams, I don't think Sporting Kansas City. And they've had a couple of really close games, you know. San Jose, if David Bingham would not have scored that own goal, oh gosh, David Bingham, my goodness, then they definitely would have settled for a draw or something. But just, you know, there's talent there. There's my boy Benny. There's my boy Matt Beasler. It's just, I still don't like Graham Zusi being a right back. That still kind of scares me. And really, Dom Dwyer has been the only attacking presence-wise person that they have in the forward position. I mean, Soony Saad is, you know, not really cutting it.
Well, I mean, again, he did catch a bit of a break with the hand of Claude, as I throwing back to what similar situation that happened with England in the World Cup. I mean, true, but, and I wanted to ask about this with the Zusi at right back situation. In that match against San Jose, which, to the Quakes' credit, they nearly came back and got a draw out of it. Kudos to them for fighting and for having someone other than Wondolowski score. Big benefits. But I saw Zusi making some more attacking runs, really pushing the pace up the right side. do you think that's going to start creeping into the mind and putting him back at midfield and officially abandoning the experiment? Or is this one of those to where it was an aberration and the situation just kind of needed it?
Maybe, but the thing is that, that's what all left backs or right backs are doing. Look at the World Cup, look at the MLS right now, look at Europe. The backs don't stay very far back. They go forward, they attack. Football has become a very attack-minded game. And yes, I say football again from Europe, so sorry. Sorry, not sorry, I should say. It's a very attack-minded game now. So I want to see Graham Zusi as a midfielder, but I mean, if he's gonna attack as a right back, then I'm a little bit more confident.
Well, and hey, don't get me wrong. I love some good attacking football, and I will say this is a bit of a history lesson. Teams do not be tempted to reverting back to the standard 2-3-5 formation as it was as the turn of the 20th century. If you do, I will come down and smack you, personally. But at the same time, we developed the game to be more of an attacking style, and I don't mind that. But at the same time, if you're going to attack as an outside back, would it be more beneficial for more teams to switch to like a back three and kind of have a deeper playing midfielder to set things up?
Like a six? Like a diamond? Is that what you're thinking?
That's somewhat. Maybe a heavier set diamond, or as closer to like what Toronto did with the 3-5-2. Or I don't even want to think about a 3-6-1. That would just be wrong. But something along those lines. Essentially, not having four at the back is an easier way to put it.
Yeah, and a lot of teams are doing that. 3-back type deal, and I mean it's working for some, it's not working for some, but just depends who you got.
Well, if you can set up a good counterattack strategy and really dominate not just the middle third, but really the whole corridor between the 18s, okay, I can see that happening. Now, kind of wrapping this up, really thinning out with these last two unbeaten teams before we go on to the qualifiers, which I'm very nervous about.
Yeah.
Portland, FC Dallas. Which team would you not want to face? Because while Dallas is good, Portland, when they're on top of their game, to me, they seem much scarier.
I would definitely pick FC Dallas, though, because I am really riding on the hot streak of Kellen Acosta. And, wow, he is so good. Like, honestly, he is so good that he could carry that whole team.
Well, I mean, to me, that does make a bit more sense, and especially one person that I know we've talked about before, Darlington Nagbe, who, after a while, it kind of disappeared. Welcome back! Yes, you're on the team, and you're being a contributing member. I mean, what happened to him where he suddenly reappeared this week, of all things? I saw him running and using a lot of speed.
Yeah, and I mean, he moved in that game to left midfield, which is very, very particular because, and we'll get to this later, but, with Fabian Johnson now injured for the national team, Darlington Nagbe's probably going to be that left midfielder for them. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I'll be crying about the injuries here shortly.
Yeah, I saw your tweet about that, and I was like, this, especially now, this can't be good. I mean, this is, with these injuries, it's getting me nervous. So I am seeing, and this is going to be one of my recurring themes, MLS players stepping up and saying, okay, if freak things happen, we're going to be here. So maybe that's a saving grace. Maybe I had Bruce Arena wrong when he was showing off at his hiring, but time will tell, because, again, the qualifiers are upon us. The roster's released, and
so many changes.
Okay, if it wasn't Honduras and Panama, maybe I wouldn't be as worried. Maybe if we weren't where we are in the hex, I wouldn't be as worried. But kind of like a rogue wave perfect storm phenomena is coming. Maybe there's a bigger hint of a disaster than there really is. Maybe I'm sensing something, but this, help me, please, before I announce this roster, help me.
Oh, man. I look at the roster, and it's hard to see many fast-paced guys that can keep up with those South American wingers, the South American forwards and midfielders, and I'm scared for the potential bloodbath that will happen.
Okay. Before we start going and dissecting into suggestions, because I have a couple of ideas, let's lay it out, all cards on the table. Keepers: Tim Howard, Nick Raimondo, David Bingham, Brad Guzan.
No more Brad Guzan. He is off the roster.
Oh.
David Bingham filled in for him.
Oh, good. That I saw his name and I was like, just no. Although Bingham, but still okay. Now defenders: Matt Beasler, okay, John Brooks, Jeff Cameron, DeMarcus Beasley.
Ugh.
I don't know necessarily about that one. I think give the old guy a little bit of credit. I mean, I wouldn't have him out there the full 90 minutes.
Yeah, don't start.
Let's see. Omar Gonzalez, Michael Orozco, Tim Ream, Jorge Villafana, Graham Zusi, okay, and Walker Zimmerman.
Walker Zimmerman just never impressed me in January camp. I don't think he did enough. Granted, they played Serbia. Serbia didn't attack them too much, but everyone talked up Walker Zimmerman. And I'm sorry, Sean, I know he's an FC Dallas guy, but I don't understand the hype, ? I don't get the hype, and I'm not impressed with the hype.
Well, I can't necessarily count with Serbia. Of course, they didn't attack much because they brought essentially a C team. So that it's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But it's like, I guess he's trying to give him a bigger stage so he can prove the hype. But I'm kind of with you. It's just like the common saying, "There's no there." Midfielders.
Oh no, I'm gonna start crying.
Would you like to take the honors while I hold your hand?
Kellen Acosta, Sasha Kleshtin, Mike Bradley, Alejandro Bedoya,
See, it's not bad so far.
Sebastian Leggett,
Okay.
Darlington Nagby, as I grit my teeth, Dax McCarthy, Christian Pulisic, and no Fabian Johnson. Now, let me tell you guys a story. Last year, I bought tickets to go see USA-Mexico in March. Fabian Johnson was named to the roster, and the next day, he got injured. Fast forward 1 year later to March 2017, and Fabian Johnson was named to the roster on Wednesday. He was injured on Thursday. I spent all of Thursday and Friday defending Mr. Johnson on Twitter, #1 fan status, because I'm sick and tired of seeing everyone saying that Klinsmann was right. Maybe he isn't committed to the national team. It's an injury, people. It happens. I'm sure Fabian Johnson did not want to pull his hamstring on purpose.
Okay, I understand that, but I have one question. You didn't do anything in buying any tickets this time, did you?
The match is in California, and I am in Pennsylvania, so I did not buy tickets.
Okay, good. So just to be clear, nobody can blame her.
Nobody
Get
can
that
blame.
out of the way. But I honestly think you're right. It's not like the World Baseball Classic where players are just going to say, yeah, I'll pass, I'll come back in 4 years. No, there is dedication, wanting to play, wanting to qualify to get to the World Cup. So I understand. It's just March seems to be a very, very bad month for Fabian. I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, bad and good. He did just have a kid in March, so, good in that sense, bad in the other sense.
I'll take that. Well, let's see. Having a kid, not playing for the national team. Yeah, I can see how in a lot of situations that would balance out. So I see your point there.
But, I mean, the midfield is take out Fabian Johnson. The only person that isn't a domestic player is Christian Pulisic. And he is somebody that you have to start.
Yeah.
Pulisic is so good. I see him and Kellen Acosta, Michael Bradley, and Alejandro Bedoya starting.
So you see as a 4 in the midfield.
Yes.
All right. Well, this.
And I will smack Bruce if it's a 3.
Well, let's looking at the strikers. Josie Altidore, Clint Dempsey, Jordan Morris. No Bobby Wood, again because of injury.
Which is devastating.
Extremely, because this is what I wanted to ask. We know that 3 up top is impossible, especially with the Wood injury. What would be kind of the formation you would want to see Arena use, given this roster? And again, given you said Honduras, they have 5 MLS players. Panama, they have 9 MLS players. So you're going to see a lot of familiarity. What do you see Bruce doing in this instance?
I think his best bet would to be a diamond, but, he's mentioned that he might do a 3-5-2, but a 5-person midfield, I don't know. I mean, Klinsmann basically brought back the diamond formation during the World Cup, and it honestly worked out pretty well. That's how they were able to advance. I don't see why they wouldn't use it. Use it for both games, maybe change it up. But if they try this 3-5-2 and it doesn't work, I would.
I mean, to me, the diamond, as you said, it would make more sense. If you're looking at protection and trying to guard on the wing, yeah, 3-5-2 would be better, and you really wouldn't have any issues as far as your central three in midfield, so that would be great, but I definitely would not do 3-5-2 in both matches. That just, no. If you try it in both matches, you're really setting yourself up for failure in my mind. So, I mean, he's hinted at this. Maybe if you're going to have some sort of experimentation going on, this isn't the ideal time to do it, but fresh out of a camp, okay. I would hope you would have tried it, but I don't know. To me, too many key injuries at this point, and I'm getting that infamous sinking feeling here.
I just don't get why, with the injury to Bobby, with the injury to Fabian, why call in so many more defenders? There's 10 defenders. You don't need that many, honestly. And
no,
I think, and this might be an unpopular opinion, call in Aaron Johansson. Bring him in as a forward. Like, call in Alfredo Morales to the midfield. He's been doing pretty good for Ingolstadt. Call in Danny Williams from Reading, you know? I don't understand why there's so many defenders.
Well, do you think that he's calling in this many defenders because he is hoping for a couple of draws or maybe some 1-0 wins? Because that's a pretty major ask at this stage of qualification.
I would say the 1-0 win because I know Bruce Arena definitely has said that he is not aiming for draws. He is aiming for wins. And honestly, that's what they need.
Well, true, but usually if you're going 1-0, I mean, those leads, you say if you score early on, you get 60th, 70th, 75th minute. Your defense is getting more and more wary, and that's hard to hang on to. I still think that it's too big of an ask, and I think you're right. Maybe 8 defenders, 9 midfielders, and 3, 4, 5 strikers, so you get yourself versatility. But that's why I'm sitting here and he's managing the national team, so I don't know.
Yep.
But alas, we will definitely find out. We've got match on Friday against Honduras, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, and then we got 7 o'clock Tuesday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, Panama. Ugh. There's points, and these are points that could easily be earned. I'm not saying that 6 is overwhelming. Okay, looking it up, the Panama game is at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, so another bit of a late night one. Boy, going to work the next day, that's going to be a fun feeling. But is it... If you had to give me an over-under on points in these two matches, I would say 2.5. I know that's a bit of a stretch on that line, but it's, I don't know. I don't think it would be going too much higher than that one.
Yeah, I would go with the same. I'm nervous.
Well, I mean, the good news is there's still a little bit of time, and in the ever shape-shifting world of qualification, we would have maybe a half-decent shot if it came down to the playoff. I don't want it to, but if he comes out, team plays great, and proves us all wrong, I'll gladly start singing a different tune.
Agreed.
Now, to somewhat of an interesting bugaboo as far as timing. with the Mexican leagues, referees going on strike for demanding more respect on the pitch, which I'm not going to argue any sort of reasoning behind that, although I don't know the situation in depth. They had a week off where MLS didn't. So when CCL came around, I was freaked out. But it turns out I shouldn't be as freaked out as I thought. Pachuca, even though they had a hell of a match, FC Dallas, they came back, got a 2-1 win. And Vancouver surprisingly held Tigres to 2-0. We predicted an all-Mexican CCL final. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the case after seeing these score lines.
Well, I was definitely shocked by FC Dallas's win. No offense, Sean. But with the Mexican League, like, kind of taking a break, it seems, I'm going to give the upper hand now to the MLS teams. I'm definitely going to flip my switch a little bit.
I have to, and especially, and Sean, I'm going to be nice. I think even with the Pachuca goal, I think FC Dallas can take that second leg and get to the final. Vancouver, I'm a little more worried about, especially after the Toronto match, but you're right. I think MLS is going to have a little bit of an advantage because they're able to develop and get a better chemistry and have more of their legs under them as they play. So, you think with this result, especially if they can hold on, do you think Dallas could finally bust through and become that first MLS team to win the CCL?
Oh, yeah, because Vancouver sure the heck ain't going to do it.
And this is why Canada, I love you. I'd be glad to move there, especially the way things are going here in the States. So, yeah, to all my Canadian friends, help. But at the same time, it's not boding well. And I believe with Vancouver, the second leg is at home. Let me see if I have this right. Yep, second leg is at home, but 2-0 down. I don't know. No. I feel a lot better about FC Dallas going away, oddly enough, than I do with the Whitecaps.
Especially if Breck Shea's going to run his mouth again.
I would say maybe he'd learn his lesson, but I can't hold my breath on that one. I can't. So, if Vancouver better figure out what a good starting 11 to where they would play with 10 and maybe practice that way. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. Ay. Strange times. But, alas, that brings us to the end of our show, and I hope we don't have you sobbing into the last of your drinks for the weekend. If not, well, if we have, then we can't entirely be blamed.
If you want to sob about Fabian Johnson with me, you're more than welcome, because I will continue sobbing probably for the next 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, is the injury that bad? Maybe?
Well, his club said that he's out indefinitely for, like, the time being, but they're actually being very vague about it. They've never been this vague about it before, so come on, Gladbach, what you doing?
Oh, trust me, vague usually means bad. from all my experience in rooting for teams with players out on injury, if they're not willing to give a time frame, then that means that they're taking it slow and they're going to be taking time to reevaluate. So, be prepared. Get your tear ducts ready, I'm afraid.
Great. Just great.
Hey, I don't kill the messenger. That's all I'm saying.
You know I love you.
Oh, you know I'm awesome. And I do it from my heart.
Thanks, Eric.
But before I dig myself in any deeper hole, I'm going to get out of here. You can catch me on Twitter, if I have not been previously dispatched of, at Squid Sports Head. And definitely stay tuned, because between this, Foxy and Squid, this week in the AFL, yes, you'll still be hearing a lot of me over the coming weeks.
And maybe even some conundrums.
No. I've explained this before. The conundrums are finally under control for now. I need to keep it that way. For my own sanity. But alas, Rachel, it's time to get into a couple of shameless plugs, so what you got?
The what?
Shameless plugs.
I'm scared to answer this question.
You've never heard of a shameless plug? Like, okay,
not.
Let me rephrase. Hey, Rachel, where can they find you on Twitter?
Oh, easy peasy. I am at the McKriger with 2 E's, and my last name is not spelled the German way. It is Kriger, not the traditional German way. Sorry, my German friends. And this is the only podcast I do, but I always tweet out my links to my stories, and you can always check those out there. And that's where you can call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
See? You've just done a shameless plug. How does it feel?
I feel good. I feel good about it.
There you go. And for our wonderful producer, Sean, hopefully he will be under the weather and will have taken my advice with the NyQuil-DayQuil combination. Although, granted, I will say I'm not a doctor. You can catch him on Twitter at W2MSean or W2M Network. If it weren't for him working all of his wonders, we wouldn't be here doing this awesome show for you right now. So, definite shout out to him. Until then, I think I just heard the ref blew his whistle, so we shall see, hear, all that good stuff next week.
Hasta.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.